Hey, beautiful souls. I just sat down with my deck today, and the energy that came through for Cancer was absolutely intense. I mean, I wasn't even fully shuffled when this overwhelming wave of emotion just hit me. There's someone in your life, Cancer, and the distance between you two has become unbearable. Like physically, emotionally, spiritually, unbearable. Let me tell you what happened when I started pulling cards for you today. The first card that literally jumped out of my deck, and I mean jumped, was the Eight of Pentacles. Now hold on. Before you think this is about work or money, this card showed up in such a unique way. The Eight of Pentacles here is representing someone who has been meticulously crafting their approach to you. They've been working behind the scenes, perfecting what they want to say, how they want to approach you, planning every single detail of how they're going to close this distance. This person, Cancer, they've been like a craftsman working on their masterpiece, and that masterpiece is the conversation they want to have with you. They've been rehearsing, they've been thinking, they've been analyzing every possible scenario. The Eight of Pentacles is showing me someone who doesn't do anything halfway, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. They're not going to just send you a casual text or make small talk. They're preparing for something significant. What's fascinating about this Eight of Pentacles energy is that it's showing dedication that goes beyond normal romantic pursuit. This person sees approaching you as an art form. They understand that what they're about to do, closing this distance, requires skill, timing, and absolute precision. They can't stand being separated from you anymore, but they're going to do this right. The distance I'm seeing here isn't just physical. Yes, there might be actual miles between you, but there's also been this emotional distance, this wall that's been built up over time. Maybe there was miscommunication, maybe there were assumptions made, maybe life just got in the way. But this Eight of Pentacles person has been working steadily to break down those barriers, one careful move at a time. I'm getting goosebumps because the next card that came through was the Queen of Swords, and Cancer. This is where things get really interesting. The Queen of Swords represents clear, direct communication, but she also represents someone who has been hurt before and has learned to protect themselves with intellectual boundaries. This could be you, or this could be them. But someone in this connection has been using their mind as a shield for their heart. The Queen of Swords is telling me that the conversation that's coming is going to cut through all the nonsense. No more games, no more dancing around the truth, no more pretending that this distance is sustainable. This Queen energy is about speaking truth with surgical precision, and Cancer, someone is about to do exactly that with you. But here's what's beautiful about the Queen of Swords in this context. She's not cold or cruel. She's someone who has learned that the kindest thing you can do sometimes is to be completely honest. This person who can't stand the distance anymore, they're going to approach you with the Queen of Swords energy. They're going to be direct, they're going to be clear, but they're going to do it from a place of genuine care. The Queen of Swords is also showing me that there's been a lot of mental processing happening. Someone has been overthinking this situation, analyzing it from every angle, trying to figure out the best approach, but now they've reached a point where the mental preparation is complete, and it's time for action. What strikes me about these first two cards together is the combination of careful preparation with decisive action. The Eight of Pentacles shows the behind-the-scenes work, and the Queen of Swords shows the moment when all that preparation transforms into clear, direct communication. Cancer. The third card that came through was absolutely unexpected, and it gave me chills. The Three of Wands appeared, but not in the way you might think. Usually, we see the Three of Wands as someone looking out at the horizon, planning for the future, waiting for ships to come in. But in this reading, the Three of Wands is showing me someone who has been standing at their own horizon, looking in your direction, and they've finally spotted what they've been waiting for. The right moment to act. This person has been patient, Cancer. They've been waiting for the perfect time, the perfect circumstances, the perfect words. The Three of Wands represents expansion and progress, and this person is about to expand their world to include you in a much more significant way. They've been looking at the big picture of their life, and you're not just a small part of that picture. You're central to their vision of the future. The Three of Wands is also about taking calculated risks based on long-term planning. This person isn't making an impulsive move. They've thought this through, they've considered the consequences, and they've decided that the risk of continuing to maintain this distance is greater than the risk of putting themselves out there and speaking from the heart. I'm seeing this Three of Wands person as someone who has been building something, maybe a career, maybe a stable life situation, maybe emotional readiness, and they've finally reached a point where they feel prepared to include you in their expansion. They can't grow any further without addressing this connection with you. The fourth card, and Cancer, this one literally made me gasp, was the Four of Cups. Now, normally the Four of Cups represents apathy or missed opportunities, but in this reading, it's showing me something completely different. It's showing me you, Cancer, sitting there maybe feeling a bit disconnected, maybe feeling like nothing exciting is happening in your love life, maybe feeling like you're in this waiting period where nothing is moving forward. But here's the thing about the Four of Cups. There's always an offering being presented that the person isn't seeing. In your case, Cancer, while you might feel like you're in this stagnant period, someone is preparing to offer you exactly what you've been waiting for, but in a way you're not expecting. The Four of Cups is telling me that you might have gotten comfortable with the distance. Maybe you've even convinced yourself that it's better this way, safer this way, less complicated this way. But this card is showing up to tell you that this comfort zone is about to be disrupted in the most beautiful way possible. This Four of Cups energy suggests that when this person approaches you, it might catch you off guard. You might not be expecting it, you might not feel ready for it, but it's going to be exactly what your soul has been craving, even if your mind hasn't acknowledged it. What's really interesting about the Four of Cups in this position is that it's suggesting you might have been so focused on protecting yourself from disappointment that you've stopped recognizing genuine opportunities for connection. But this person who's been doing all this preparation, all this careful planning, they're going to present themselves in a way that's impossible to ignore. The fifth card that came through, Cancer, was the Knight of Pentacles, and this just confirms everything I've been seeing. The Knight of Pentacles is methodical, reliable, and steady in his approach. This isn't the Knight of Wands charging in impulsively, or the Knight of Swords cutting through with aggressive energy. This is the knight who shows up with a solid plan and the determination to see it through. The Knight of Pentacles represents someone who keeps their word, someone who follows through on their intentions, someone who understands that real love isn't about grand gestures, but about consistent, reliable action. This person who can't stand the distance anymore, they're not going to make empty promises or create false hope. When they move toward you, it's because they're ready to back up their words with real commitment. This Knight energy is also about patience combined with determination. They've been patient up until now, but their patience has reached its limit. They can't maintain this distance anymore without losing something precious, and they're finally ready to take steady, deliberate action to change the situation. The Knight of Pentacles is also showing me that when this person approaches you, they're going to have a concrete plan. They're not just going to confess their feelings and then leave you hanging. They're going to present you with a realistic path forward, a way to actually bridge this distance that's been separating you. Cancer, the sixth card that appeared, was the Two of Swords, and this one spoke directly to the internal conflict that's been happening. The Two of Swords represents a decision point, a moment where someone has been weighing their options, trying to figure out the best path forward while dealing with conflicting emotions and thoughts. This could be you, Cancer, caught between wanting to maintain your emotional safety and yearning for deeper connection. Or this could be the other person, torn between respecting the distance you might have established and their desperate need to close that gap. Either way, the Two of Swords is showing me that someone has been in this internal struggle, trying to balance logic with emotion, trying to balance self-protection with authentic expression. But here's what's beautiful about the Two of Swords in this reading. It's not about being stuck forever. It's about reaching that moment of clarity where the decision becomes obvious. Someone is about to remove those blindfolds and see the situation clearly for what it really is. The Two of Swords is telling me that all the mental back and forth, all the weighing of pros and cons, all the trying to figure out the right thing to do, that's all coming to an end. Someone is about to make a decision that's going to change everything. And that decision is to stop letting fear dictate their actions and start letting love lead the way. What really strikes me about this Two of Swords is that it represents the end of hesitation. Someone has been hesitating, second-guessing themselves, maybe even talking themselves out of taking action. But they've reached a point where the cost of inaction has become higher than the risk of action. The seventh card, Cancer, and this one absolutely floored me, was the Hermit. Now you might think the Hermit is about isolation and being alone, but in this context, it's showing me something profound. The Hermit represents someone who has been doing deep soul-searching, someone who has been looking within to find their truth, their authentic self, their real desires. This person who can't stand the distance anymore, they've been on a journey of self-discovery. The Hermit shows me that they've been asking themselves the hard questions. What do I really want? What am I afraid of? What's really important to me? And through this inner journey, they've discovered that you are essential to their authentic life path. The Hermit carries a lantern, and that lantern represents inner wisdom and truth. This person is about to approach you carrying their own inner light, their own truth, and they're going to illuminate the path forward for both of you. They're not coming from a place of desperation or neediness. They're coming from a place of deep self-knowledge and clarity. What's beautiful about the Hermit in this reading is that it shows this person has done the inner work. They're not looking for you to complete them or fix them. They've found their own wholeness, and now they want to share that wholeness with you. They want to walk the path forward together, each carrying their own light, creating an even brighter path than either could create alone. The Hermit also represents guidance and wisdom. This person is going to approach you not just with feelings, but with wisdom. They understand what they're asking for, they understand what they're offering, and they're prepared to guide you both through whatever challenges might come up as you bridge this distance. Cancer, I have to share with you what happened when I pulled the eighth and final card. The Page of Cups practically flew out of the deck, and the energy was so pure, so genuine, so full of hope and new emotional beginnings that I actually teared up a little bit. The Page of Cups represents a fresh start in emotional connection, someone approaching with their heart wide open, ready to begin again or begin something completely new. This is the energy of someone who's not weighed down by past disappointments or fears about the future. They're approaching you with the innocence and openness of someone who believes in the possibility of beautiful love. But what makes the Page of Cups so special in this reading is that it represents someone who's learned to trust their intuition and their emotions again. Maybe this person has been hurt before, maybe they've been cautious, maybe they've been protecting their heart. But the Page of Cups shows they've healed enough to be vulnerable again, to be open again, to believe in love again. This page energy is about emotional courage. It takes courage to reach out across distance, whether that distance is physical or emotional. It takes courage to speak from the heart when you're not sure how you'll be received. The Page of Cups represents someone who's found that courage and is ready to use it. The Page of Cups is also about authentic emotional expression. When this person approaches you, Cancer, they're going to speak their truth without trying to manipulate the outcome, without trying to force a specific response from you. They're going to share their heart honestly and then trust that whatever happens next will be for the highest good of both of you. What really moves me about the Page of Cups in this final position is that it represents hope. Not naive hope, but mature hope based on genuine connection and authentic feelings. This person has hope that bridging this distance will lead to something beautiful, and they're willing to take the risk because that hope is stronger than their fear. Cancer, when I look at all these cards together, the message is so clear it's almost overwhelming. Someone in your life has been going through an entire journey of preparation, soul-searching, and emotional growth, all leading to this moment when they can't stand the distance anymore, and they're ready to speak to you from the heart. The Eight of Pentacles showed us their careful preparation. The Queen of Swords showed us their commitment to honest communication. The Three of Wands showed us their vision for expansion that includes you. The Four of Cups showed us your current state of maybe not expecting this. The Knight of Pentacles showed us their steady determination. The Two of Swords showed us the internal struggle that's finally being resolved. The Hermit showed us their inner wisdom and self-knowledge. And the Page of Cups showed us the pure, hopeful energy they're bringing to this approach. This is not someone who's going to play games with you, Cancer. This is not someone who's going to give you mixed signals or leave you guessing about their intentions. They've done the work, they've found their clarity, and they're ready to bridge whatever distance has been between you with complete authenticity and genuine care. I keep getting this message that you shouldn't expect it in the sense that it might come in a way that surprises you, or at a time when you're not necessarily looking for it, but the energy behind it is so sincere and so well prepared that it's going to be impossible to misunderstand their intentions. The distance they can't stand anymore isn't just about physical space. It's about emotional distance, about missed connections, about conversations that should have happened but didn't, about feelings that have been held back for too long. They're ready to close all of those gaps. Cancer, trust your intuition when this happens. Your intuitive nature is going to pick up on the authenticity of this approach long before your logical mind processes what's happening. Don't overthink it. Don't analyze it to death. Just feel into the energy they're bringing and trust what your heart tells you. This person is coming from a place of such genuine care and respect for you that even if you're not ready for whatever they're offering, they're going to handle your response with grace and understanding. But honestly, the energy I'm picking up suggests that when this moment comes, when they speak to you from the heart, you're going to recognize something you've been waiting for, even if you didn't realize you were waiting for it. The cards are showing me that this is going to be a conversation that changes everything, not through manipulation or pressure, but through pure authenticity and emotional truth. Someone has reached their breaking point with the distance, and they're about to do something about it in the most beautiful, respectful, and genuine way possible. Cancer, get ready for someone to surprise you with their courage, their honesty, and their heart.